What's going on YouTube? Ben here, player.net, and today we're taking a look at the Fractal Design Core 1100 computer case. Now this is a bit on the smaller side, as the box may suggest, if you can kind of tell. Starting off with the box like we always do on the front in Fractal Design true fashion, we have a bit of an outline of the case. It doesn't really reveal a whole lot to us, but it gives us at least an idea of what to expect. We can kind of see the little fan vent here and two 5.25 inch bays, and our front I/O is definitely on the front with the power, USBs, and audio inputs. Moving around the box a bit, on one side, which may be hard for you guys to see, is the product specifications here, and it also lets us know about the cooling system, what we can expect from it, how many fans we can fit in, and if there's any water cooling support for this case or not. Moving around to the back here, and again in true Fractal Design fashion, we have a picture of the case numbered, and it's kind of broken down into parts to let consumers know that number one is an extremely compact case, alright, with efficient thermal design. Number 6, support for two 5.25 inch drive bays and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely nice to have a bit more info, break it down a bit so people know exactly what they're getting. Well, that's pretty much it for the box. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up, get this bad boy out, and give you guys a closer look at the case itself. So stay tuned. Alright, so here we have it, folks. And I know it might be a bit hard to see, but the front of the Core 1100 here, it actually has a nice brushed aluminum look to it, which for one is one of my favorite looks when a case is all black. I don't care for gloss black and matte black. Well, it's nice, but this is always the brushed aluminum. It just gives, I don't know, extra class or something to it. I always think, I don't know, it just looks a bit nicer to me. So as you can see here on the front anyways, we have the Fractal Design logo down towards the bottom. And over on the right hand side, kind of in the middle, is our power button. We've got one USB 3 and one USB 2. And then of course we have our mic and headphone input jacks, so we can go ahead and get all our audio needs taken care of. We'll also notice the two 5.25 inch drive bays as previously mentioned. And if we turn it to just either side just a little bit, there is a bit of a grill here, some hole inlets, whatever, hopefully to allow for a bit better airflow. But we'll check that out a bit when we get inside the case. Moving around to the side, and this of course is going to be the main side. As you can see, there's a nice vented area here to allow for a fan. And one of the nice features I'm noticing on this is it kind of sticks out a little bit. Maybe they thought that might allow for a bit better air. I'm not sure, but at the same time, I'm not complaining. I like it. It pops out, adds a little bit of, I don't know what to say about it really, other than the fact that I like that it pops out a little bit. As you can see, the rest of it is plain black, and instead of, we've got a little handle at the back here, not much, but we've also got a little indent here so we can go ahead and get our fingers in and pull this off. Now moving around to the back of the case, and we can see we have room for a top mounted power supply here. Not my favorite, but this is, if I can remember correctly, a budget case. I don't want to go ahead throwing any numbers out, but I don't recall this case being too expensive, so for what it is, top mounted power supply, we'll live with it. We can also see room for a fan here as well in the back. I'm not sure what size. It actually looks smaller than normal, so I'm not 100% positive on the size of that, but I'll go ahead and cover that in the full review so you can look back for that. And then down towards the bottom, we have the 4 PCI expansion slots. Now as mentioned, this is meant to be a compact case, so it's a bit smaller. Things are going to be a bit tighter, but that's alright. We'll see how that all pans out soon enough. And last but not least, well, for the outside anyways, is the final rear side. Again, the nice little indent here, so we can go ahead and get our hands in there to slide the case off once we've taken the thumb screws out. And then just a plain black overall feel, because this is going to be the side where hopefully we hide most of our cables and it won't be coming off too much. So yeah, it is what it is really. But like I said, that's pretty much it for the outside. Of course, during the full review I'll cover a bit more points, but for now let's go ahead and get these side panels off and take a look at the inside. Alright, so now that we've got the side panels off, we can have a bit closer look at it. One of the first things you'll notice when opening up the case is a little box here, Fractal Design Core 1100. Now of course this is going to have our screws and motherboard standoffs and all that type of fun stuff, so we can make sure we can go ahead and get all our hardware fitted as easy as possible. Now having a look around, there's a bit of a unique design here that I'm seeing. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to build into it yet, but it's looking almost as if the hard drives are going to mount to this piece here on the back side, of course. They should easily come off. There's a couple thumb screws here so we can get this piece off and have access to it, so we can go ahead and screw our hard drives to it. Of course, we have our two 5.25-inch drive bays, which in this case are not toolless, so we'll have to, if we're using them, we'll have to go ahead and use some of the included screws to make sure our optical drive is secure and all of that. Taking a bit closer look on the inside, we of course have our front panel connectors, HD audio, USB 2, USB 3, and then there's the normal host of power, reset, and hard disk drive LED cables as well. Try to stuff those out the way for the moment. And then of course we can see there's no cutout in the motherboard tray. So what this means is if you decide that after you build in this case you want to upgrade your CPU cooler, you're going to have to take the whole motherboard out. Whereas on a lot of cases these days, even budget cases, there's a nice cutout here that normally allows users to go ahead and change the CPU cooler without having to take the whole motherboard out. I will have to say that's a bit of a letdown for me, but it is what it is, and we will see how it pans out for the full review. Now quickly moving on to the back side of the case, and again I hate to say it, but it's a bit of a letdown. Now that you can properly see this, there's no hole cutouts, there's no nothing for any real power supply or any cable management at all for anything. There's not even any real room to stick a couple fan cables back here or whatnot. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out and how the overall build looks. Now of course this doesn't come with a fancy window side panel, so it's not really meant to show off your rig. It's something, a budget case to get you going. It's small and it's meant to just put everything in there and you close it up and probably tuck it in a corner, tuck it out of the way somewhere where it's not really too visible. But yeah, it is a bit of a letdown that there's pretty much no cable management options on the back side at all. The only thing that it does really come with is the front fan, if you can see it here, which has a standard 3-pin connector, and it looks to be about a 120 millimeter fan. That's it. So in my opinion already, it's missing quite a few features that I've seen from other budget cases from the likes of BitPhoenix, Rogentech, Zigmatech. Those cases normally allow for a bit of cable management. Most of their cases also would have a bottom mounted power supply, which that's just something I prefer. I like it better like that. That means no air's getting into the case, it's all going outside. So those are just a couple of things to consider, but I'm not going to go ahead and talk down about it now. What I'm going to do is give y'all another quick look at the inside here and just let you know that the review is coming. Of course I'll have more pictures, a bit closer look at everything, and I'll let you know how everything pans out and how Fractal Design did with their Core 1100. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, please leave me some feedback. I know I've got a bit of work to do. I know I also need a haircut, as you'll see from the beginning clips of the video. That's to come. I'm trying to get better, so please, any constructive criticism is always welcome. And as always, thank you guys for watching.